All right. So this is section 7.3. The two formulas we're going to look at is I equals PRT. Principal times rate times time equals the interest. A is the final amount. You can call it the accumulated amount equals the principal, the starting amount, plus 1 plus the interest rate times time. Time is always in years when we talk about time. So Max borrowed $4,500 at 6%. So that's easy. 6% is R. Interest, simple interest rate, that's R. 2 years, that's time. Time equals 2. The R equals 6%. We want to know what is the interest he had to pay. Well, the formula, interest equals the starting amount times the interest rate times time. The starting amount is the amount that you borrowed, right? You started off and you owe that amount, $4,500. That's the principal. That's the starting amount. The interest rate is 6%. And the time is 2 years. So you just put that in your calculator, 4,500 times 6. Make sure you type in the percent symbol. 4,500 times 6%. And to do 6%, don't forget you have to hit second in that first parenthesis, 6% times 2.
I got 540.
That's right. Thank you. 540. So when you borrow 4,500, you owe 540 in interest. So it says, what was the interest he had to pay? The answer is 540. Now the question is, how much did he have to pay back total? Well, he had to pay back the 4,500 he borrowed, plus the interest. The interest is the money they've to use to borrow that money. So he had to pay
5,040.
5,040 total. So this first question has two parts. What was the interest? The interest is 540. And then how much did he have to pay back? He had to pay back the 4,500 plus the 540. He had to pay back $5,040. All right. Next question. So Alyssa had a loan of $600 at 7.8% interest for 120 days. How much did she have to pay back? Well, once again, this I'm looking at we're going to use one of these two formulas for here. We can do the problem just like we did, find the interest and then add that to the original loan, right? And we could do it just the same way, or we can use the second formula, but I think we should just do it the same way. So first we need to find the interest. The interest equals the principal times the rate times the time. The principal, we started the loan with $600. The interest rate was 7.8%. And the time is not 120. Does anybody know what I should put for time?
One
4 months, so 120 days is about 4 months. And
yeah, but we have to put it in years. Time is always in years.
0.25.
0.3.
Well, let's
yeah, it should be like 0.33.
well, we're gonna write it as a fraction. 120 days, and how many days in a year?
365.
Yes. However, when we do days,
360.
we do days on this. We for some reason we call it bankers days or bankers year. bankers like round numbers. So when they do this, they use 360. They use 360 as their number of days in a year. We know they're 365 or 364 or whatever, 365 or leap year. But for when they talk about days, they switch it to 360, so it's nice and round. So this will tell us the interest. So let's plug this into our calculator. 600 times 7.8. Make sure you put the percent symbol in there. Times a fraction.
You
And
get 15.6.
120. I'm not there yet.
Sorry, sir.
And just like he said, it's not 15.6. You're close. It's $15.60 because we're dealing with money. So you always go 2 decimal places when you're dealing with money. So the question was, how much did she have to pay back?
615.60.
Yes, you have to pay back your 600 plus the interest to borrow the money. So you had to pay 615.60. That was the answer to question 2. All right. Any other questions on these so far? I mean, the simple interest is pretty easy. Now, you better watch the 7.4 and 7.5 video very carefully because it gets a little more complicated when we get out of simple interest.
Yeah, I did. I watched the video, and I'm still stuck on the one question. I followed it just like you said, and I'm still getting a 0 on the answer.
No, it's really hard typing it into the calculator. What's good is right after this section, they have, a section that tells you what keys to type into the calculator and all. But I can also maybe help out with any calculator questions if anybody has any here in a little while. Maybe when I'm done here. Example 3. A loan for $3,500, that's our principal, our starting amount. And as soon as it says simple interest, we're going to use one of those 2 simple interest formulas.
Does it really matter which one we use?
Well, if you're going to find interest, then you use the one that says I equals. Now, we're going to use the other one this time. It says for 3 months. And 3 months, you have to change it to years. So what am I going to change 3 months to as a fraction?
1/4.
Or 3 over 12, which is the same thing as 1/4. Do you see? 3 months, and there are 12 months in a year. So 3 over 12 is the same thing as 1/4. So it says find the loan's future value. Well, that's the second formula. A equals P1 plus, where is that formula at? 1 plus RT. A is the future value, or the final value. This is the starting value. 3,500. 1 plus the interest rate was 4.5%. And the time was 3 over 12 to change it to years. So, and that's what A is the future value, the value in the future. P is the present value. So we have to be able to plug this into the calculator. 3,500, 1 plus 4.5% times 3 over 12. And then, so I would type it in just like that with the parentheses. Instead of a bracket, just put the parentheses. 3,500 parentheses 1 plus parentheses. That's a 4, not a 9. 4.5%. Close that.
$3,539.38.
3 divided by 12. I'm getting there. Close the parentheses. And I think I got what you got. Let's see, $3,539. And you round it to the nearest cent, so you should get 38. It says 375, but you round it to the nearest cent, 38. Did everybody get that on their calculator?
Hold on,
Yep.
hold on, hold
That's
on.
what I got.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Any questions? So far, so good. Not too bad. Just use one of those two formulas.
Yeah, because this is easy right now.
Yo, the simple interest, like I said, 3.4, 3.5 gets a little crazier. Number 4. So we started with this and we ended with this. Now, the question is, what is the interest rate? There's two formulas we can use, and I think this is the simplest, I equals PRT. I think this is the simplest formula. We want to know what the interest rate is, so we're trying to find R in this formula. We're trying to find R. And here's T. T is 9 months, so T is 9 over 12. T is 9 over 12. We're trying to find R. The principal is the starting amount, 3,600. We're trying to find R. And can somebody tell me what the interest is?
$3,863.25.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's
Now,
okay.
that's the total amount, if I'm correct.
That's the final amount you have to pay back. He paid back that much. When you pay something back, you pay the principal and the interest.
When you subtract the principal from the interest,
Yes.
Isn't it $263.25?
Yes. You subtract the principal from the interest, and you get $263.25 is the interest. That's how much you had to pay back more than the original amount. So the interest is 263.25. Okay. So we still have to find R in this problem. R, the interest rate. So I have to take the 3,600 to the other side. Can somebody tell me how I take the 3,600 to the other side?
will you subtract it or divide it?
Yeah, which one? One or the other.
Because it's in parentheses, I had to say that you would divide it.
Yeah, because if it's in parentheses between the P, R, and T is an invisible multiply. So to get the 3,600, we're going to divide it 263.25 divided by 3,600. Divide this side by 3,600, and those cancel. Now, I also have to take the 9/12 to the other side. So we have to divide it by 9/12 also. Now we just have the R by itself on the right-hand side. So this is what we do to find the interest rate. We have to put that in our calculator. And you have to be very careful. Start off with putting a fraction in there.
What the fuck?
I got actually, I'll let you finish first.
Yeah, let everybody finish first. 263.25.
Damn it.
Yeah,
So
it
I'm gonna put a second fraction in down on the bottom. I just want to show you what my calculator would look like when I type that in. I'm going to try to get it to where it's focused. Anytime now. Come on, calculator. I'm on camera. This worked for the other classes. There we go. There we go. Do you see I had the fraction, I put the 263.25 on top, and then on the bottom I put the 3600 and the fraction 9/12. Why is it? There we go. And when we hit enter,
0.0975.
that's it, 0.0975.
But that's not in percent form. You have to move the two
Yeah.
decimals.
I'm going to write that down in a second. By the way, can you guys see my screen? Is my calculator big enough for you guys to see?
Yeah, I
Yes.
can see,
Yeah.
but wouldn't it, but since it's we're moving the decimal 2 places over, wouldn't the 9 go up a percentage?
Yes.
Is it 9.75?
Yes.
That's
So,
what I got.
yes.
Okay, then we all got the same answer.
So it should be 10% since we're rounding up.
So the answer that we ended up with, which question were we on?
4.
Four.
Actually, no. Yeah, 4. We were on 4.
It erases when we do that. So R ends up, when we put in our calculator, we got 0.0975. But this is the decimal version of the answer. We want the percent version. So on your calculator, by the way, just hit second and arrow percent, and it changes it, right? On the calculator.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
To 9.75%.
Yeah, there you go. Good, good. I was going to show you. I guess I don't have to then. Or I could still show you.
You gotta make sure you hit enter after you press second.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, you have to. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place with this thing. So if you ended up with just in case anybody watching, 0.0975, if you ended up with this, to change that decimal to a percent, you have to hit the second button and the one that says going 2%, change it 2%. This is the percent one, but this is changing it 2%. And it ends up being 9.75%. Okay, so the final answer to that problem was R equals 9.75%. All right.
The next one looks tricky because this time we're trying to find the principal.
Yeah, it's not. There's a little algebra involved, but it's not too bad. Let's take a look.
Says
Finally.
Juanita has to repay. So this is to repay is the whole thing. So that's A. For the principal she borrowed. So we're looking, how much was the principal? We're looking for P. We know R and we know T. So if we're finding A, we have to grab the A formula. A equals P 1 plus R T. So A, we already said, was 6809.60. P is what we're looking for. 1 plus R is 7.2%, and T is 3 years. So do you see it's P times this parentheses, right? Does everybody see that?
Yes.
Mhm.
So how do I take the whole parentheses to the other side?
Divide it.
Divide it. It's P times, so we're going to divide it. So it's 6809.60 divided by 1 plus 7.2% times 3. And this whole thing should be in a big parentheses at the bottom. So let's see if we can type that into our calculator. First, you have to type in a fraction. Try to get it to look, same thing as that. 6809.60
Oh shit.
on the bottom. So start a parentheses where their brackets are on the bottom. Parentheses 1 plus parentheses 7.2%. Parentheses 3, parentheses, one more parentheses to close the whole thing. Boy, that's what, when I put it into my calculator, that's what it looked like. And I ended up with a starting amount of principal.
5,600.
Yes, a principal of 5,600. So when you type that into your calculator, you should have got 5,600.
$5,600.
Yes.
All right.
Anybody have any questions on it? Everybody okay with it? Please practice these.
I got.
They're just gonna get harder and harder, aren't they?
This is the easy stuff.
Okay,
Yes.
so they're gonna get hard as
That the next two sections are I'm gonna say they get a little crazier. Yes. Well, we're not doing simple interest anymore. We're using compound interest. So it does, there's different formulas for that. All right, so by the way, this is the last question for the day. This section, I'm glad I did the video on those other two already. Example 6, Mike received a payday loan. Don't go to payday loans, man. Those interest rates will kill you. Mike received a payday loan for $260. That's how much he got the loan for. That's the principal. That's what he got the loan for. But he paid it off. He paid off the whole thing. That's the A. The final amount he ended up paying was $328.
And 26 cents.
And 26 cents. That's the A. And we want to know what the interest rate was. And does it say how
a
long
lot.
it off? 4 weeks.
That's about a month.
Yeah, well, don't put about a month. R is time is 4 weeks. And how many weeks in a year?
52.
52. So time is 4 weeks out of 52. So don't change it to months. If it said weeks, you have to use weeks. The only thing that you really change is days. If it's 18 days, then you had to put 18 over 360. Days, we just changed to 360. Weeks is 52. Months is 12. Quarters is over 4, right? There are 4 quarters in a year. So we have everything we need. We have P, we have A, and we have T. We just have to find R. So the formula A equals P times 1 plus RT. And A is 32826. P was 260. 1 plus the interest rate, which we're trying to find. and time is 4/52. Okay, so I need to take everything to the other side slowly but surely so we can get through this. First, I'm going to take the 2/6 to the other side. How do I take it?
Divide.
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 60 times the parentheses. So I'm going to divide it. 328.26 divided by 260. And then once that 260 is gone, I'm just left with 1 plus r, 4/52, just like this. Now, I have to take the 1 to the other side. Give me a second. And I have to take the 4/52 to the other side. My question to you is, which one do I take to the other side first?
The 452.
Anybody have a different answer?
Uh,
How about in a problem like this? 6 equals 2 plus 3x. I got to get x by itself. Which one do I take to the other side first?
Do we take the
The 2.
Yeah, you always take the one that's adding and subtracting. Do you see the 452 is multiplying times the r?
oh yeah.
So you always take the add and subtract. So you have to take the 1 over. It's a +1, so you subtract 1. And this is kind of hard to write down, or it's going to be hard to put in your calculator, I think. So we have 328.26 over 260 minus 1. Do you see? So we actually have to type in that fraction, and then a -1 equals r over 452. So, and then there's one last thing. Oh my God. We have to take the 452 to the other side. I'm gonna erase some of this stuff here so I can.
So you got to divide it, right?
Yes, and it's gonna look like a mess on your calculator. So I want to divide this side by 4/52 and divide this side by 4/52. So what I have is 328, sorry, hang on.
You gonna divide the whole thing divided by 453?
Yes, 260 minus
Minus
1
1.
divided by 4/52, not 53. Do you see? And that equals r. So first you take the 260 over, divide it, we did that. Then you take the 1 over, and we did that here. And then you divide by 4/52. So you have to make it, and then I would put a parentheses around this if you want to, but just as long as you have it, you got to be able to type this in your calculator. So start off with typing in a fraction, and then on top you have to put another fraction. 328.26 divided by 260. Then arrow over and put a -1. Arrow down below it, put another fraction, and you get 4/52.
And don't forget to put parentheses over. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, I think if we use the fraction part, we're okay. We'll see if we get the same answer as what I got. Let's see if we get the same answer that what I got.
I got 16.48.
Anybody else get that?
What did you get?
16.48.
I got 3.413 when I added the parentheses. I might have done
Yeah,
something.
that's what I got.
I did something wrong. Right.
How do you get the second? How do you get the second fraction?
What do you mean? How do you put the fraction down there?
Oh wait, let me see what I did
Go
wrong.
down and hit the fraction button. Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get the second fraction at the bottom?
You just, when you get down there, you just put that fraction. I started off with a fraction, and then do the top, and then when you get down to the bottom, hit the fraction button again.
Okay. All right, let me see if I can do it.
Now I forgot what I typed in. I gotta go back. Oh, I erased it all. Damn it.
What did I do wrong?
Let's see what A equals P times 1 plus RT, and A was 328.26 divided by P, which was 260. Bring over the 1, and then divide it by R, which was 4 out of 52.
I got 3.413.
Give me a second. 0.26 divided by 260. And I have to put a -1.
Okay, so and then from there, with the -1, what do you do to get that bottom fraction?
You just press a fraction when
Arrow
you get to the-
down. You arrow. See, I typed. You have to have the fraction in first.
Yeah, okay, I got that.
I arrow down and then hit the ND button. When you're down on the bottom, hit the ND and it creates another fraction.
Oh, it's not letting me.
Yeah. Hang on. So did you type in a fraction to begin with? Did you type in one fraction to begin with like this?
I can't. Yeah, I did that.
Okay, and then you type in another fraction for the top. Do you see I have a fraction?
Oh, okay.
You didn't type in the double fraction like that.
Yeah, nobody said to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you. All right.
Okay. And you should have got, once you do all this work, you should have got, what is the annual interest rate? You should have got 3.43.
Okay, then that means I got the right answer.
Everybody okay with getting 3.413? We're not done. I still want to talk about this, but I just want to make sure everybody was able to type that in and get that.
Yep.
Okay, so is that my answer?
No.
No.
Right. Change that to a percentage.
I'm doing something wrong on the calculator.
Me too.
I keep getting negative 0.90.
Yeah, you're okay. Well, wait, hang on. Does your calculator? Oh, I wish.
This is when you wish we were in class right now, weren't you?
Yeah, well, so I can see your calculator. Well, you have to hit a fraction. You have to hit the fraction button first, and then on top we have a fraction. So do you see on top we have a fraction? So you have to hit a fraction there, and on the bottom we have a fraction. So you have to hit the fraction there also. And then
that's what I did wrong.
yeah, and on top, then we have a -1. Do you see? So
Okay, I see.
your top should have a fraction -1. Your bottom should have a fraction. Once you set it up like that, then everything just fills in.
So the answer is 341.3%.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
Right? Makes you want to go into business, huh?
Yeah. Oh, those payday loans, and that's a cheap payday loan. Sometimes, somebody tell me the answer we got. We got R 3 point. What was it? 3 point what?
413.
Yeah, 413.
413. And then we change it to a percent.
Which is 341.3%.
341.3%. And in reality, those payday loans charge over 1,000%. They're being nice
Holy.
with this problem. If you ever walked into one, I walked into one of those places, and on the board on the wall it says this establishment can charge up to 2,000%. So you will never pay it back if you get a payday loan. You will never pay it back.
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, those places make so much money. It's disgusting. That's why the car title, they want your title because they know you'll never be able to pay the loan back. So they'll have the money that you did pay, plus they'll have your car.
Okay, sir, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Since you have the videos on the other sections, and now that this is done, what do we do?
Say that again.
Since you have the videos on the other sections
Right.
of 7,
Right.
what do we do now since we finished this section?
Watch those videos and take notes.
Well, that's the obvious, but I mean, do we leave Zoom and
Yes.
watch them?
Oh, yes. I'm telling you that right now. Yes. So we're actually done for the day right now. Let me hit stop record. If I can find out where.